Hello, my name is Ethan, and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile, Scourge League 3.16. In this episode, I'm going to be going over my upgrades to my League Starter, where I doubled the DPS of the League Starter with very minimal upgrades, very small stuff to the League Starter. I wanted to spend as little as possible and get as much damage as possible, while also going over more upgrades you can make to the build, because I want to use skeletons for a little bit in the beginning. They're very strong. Alright, let's get into the items I chose to upgrade my skeleton league starter. I want to play my skeleton build for longer than just the league start. I don't want to just level with it. I want to continue to play it, so I want to upgrade it for a bit. And then I'm going to probably transition into a budget endgame build. So to start it off, I wanted to mention this bone helmet. So you can get a bone helmet as soon as maps, and then also they made getting the Uber Lab easier. They made you don't have to get any of the trials. You only need an offering, and then an offering to the goddess is enough to do an Uber Lab. So I think that there should be faster Uber enchants, and also earlier and more, and so access to Uber enchants is quicker this season. So basically I'm throwing this out here as something to look for. Basically this enchant for increased effect of the carrion golems buff on the skeletons is really insane, because we have carrion golem and it gives 33 to 49 added physical damage, and you can increase that buff effect buff by 150%. And then on skeletons they have this mod: minions gain 50% more added damage, which is the way that the carrion golems work with the added damage, and then it's 150% buff of that, and so it's actually more damage than getting an enchant of 40% increased skeleton damage, for example. So this is really strong. And now, next thing, I'd like to talk about the Darkness Enthroned. So this is usually 4 or 5C at League Start, and then it obviously increases the effect of the Ghastly Jewels. This is powerful because Ghastly Jewels are damage, and so then in the Ghastly Jewels you can get life with minion damage if you use a minion skill recently, minion attack speed if they've killed recently, and also the mod minions deal 17 to 26 additional physical damage is similar damage to the attack speed and the minion damage if you've used a minion skill recently. So you can go for either or. All of them are similar damage, and whichever one's cheaper, basically. This is my point. It's better to have more options that are similar damage, and it's because of the way skeletons work with the more added damage. It scales the flat physical from the jewels really well. And then I also show that the chestplate, I thought of something creative for this league, because it's Scourge League and it's these corruptions and it's Scourge implicit corruptions. I thought, man, it might be possible to get a +1 socketed gems chestplate easy with 6-link. I'm not sure. We have no idea, but I thought might as well mention this as something I thought of. And then I also put in here, you can get a Shaper chestplate, item level 80, I believe, to get a +1 level of socketed active skill gems. And then you can also get this Astral plate with Warlord, and you could get +1 active skill gems as well. I think it's item level 80. It might be 75, but at least 80. I mean, like, you'll be safe with 80. Then my other buff, I went for this Ami upgrade you can go for. And so you can go a Hunter Amulet, item level 82. This is kind of high level. I'm going in order. So the level 82 to get the +1 intelligence skill gems, and this is really rare. It usually takes like a few hundred alterations, a few hundred, like 400, 500. This can be pretty expensive, but then it's an extra level on all your blue gems, which blue skill gems, which is really powerful. Extra level on the Skelly. I forgot to mention this. This was actually supposed to be earlier than that, because this amulet's pretty expensive. Before that, probably before the chestplate, you can go for a 21 Val Summon Skeleton. I don't know how much this is going to be at League Start. I'm mentioning as much stuff as possible and telling you them in order of how impactful they are, so that you can, figure it out for yourself in the new league while I'm streaming as well, hopefully, and then we can, more information the better. So 21 Val Skelly's pretty big priority, and it's actually huge if you get the 21 Val Skelly and you get the +1 from the amulet and any +1 from the chest plate. What happens here is you have a +2 from your ascendancy on natural strength, and when you get your Skelly or Skelly to 25 total, so 21 plus the 4, it goes to 10 Skellies instead of 9. So it's actually a huge boost to get that extra level. It's just like Spectres and Zombies where you get that extra 1 at 25. I highly recommend that. And then I also included here that you can get quality on your gems now. So you take your level 20 gems and you take them to the vendor and you sell them with 1 gem cutter's prism, and it will do a vendor recipe that gives you back the gem level 1 with 20 quality. So you can do that. You can flip your gems, that's what they call it. And then also you could, if you can afford it, depends on the prices at League Start. Last League, Awakened Gems were 1x at League Start. They were very cheap, but they also got buffed. So maybe they're going to be more expensive this time. And this Divergent melee splash is really cool from Heist because it makes it so the supported skill deals 40% less damage to surrounding targets. So instead of dealing the normal melee splash 40% less to surrounding targets, it deals 1% less to surrounding targets, which means it's dealing 99% to the AoE instead of 60, which is really nice. Obviously, you don't want to lose damage on the AoE, so Divergent is better than the normal melee splash if you can get it. And then Awakened Gems are buffed this season, so I wanted to go over that. They buffed Awakened melee phys so that it has Intimidate. They give Brutality, chance to crush 10%, which is the enemy, the opponent, the boss loses 15% physical damage reduction, which is huge, which can even negate the benefits of the opponent's armor, for example. And then they gave 1 level to Awaken Minion damage. These are all at level 5, and Awaken Multi-Strike lost 5% of the less attack damage, so you just have 5% more attack damage now than the old Awaken Multi, so it's a bigger upgrade over the normal multi than last season. So all of these got buffed. All of these are more impactful. They don't show on Path of Building right now. The implicit qualities are not in, and the buffs are not in for that, so I can't show you. And so maybe they'll be cheaper than they're supposed to be because they're actually buffed, but maybe people slept on it and don't know, and they don't think of it at the beginning of the league, so I'm mentioning it for you guys, so you go out and look. You can also drop Vitality for Aspect of the Spider if you want to. It depends on the price of Aspect of the Spider at the beginning of the league. And then I also showed this cluster jewel potential. So if you take out like these 3 points and maybe some life points down here, and you get some better gear for life and armor, then you can take this cluster, this jewel socket, and then this cluster. So you could take Vicious Bite, Renewal, two jewel sockets. You could even take the Rotting Claws if you got a 3 passive, which is really expensive probably, especially at the beginning of the league, but I'd like to mention it just to put it in here. You could go Rotting Claws, and then the Rotting Claws, you could run Impale and Dread Banner instead of War Banner, and you would have 100% Impale, and it's possible. It's just worse clear, okay on bossing. It's not necessary, and so I'll show you an alternative. You spend 5 points, you don't switch the Impale, and it's really nice. And then the other thing is then you can go this jewel, which might be cheaper, which is Raise and Pillage, Renewal, Vicious Bite instead of the Rotting Claws. And when you do Raise and Pillage, it has the same spots. So Raise and Pillage is on the outside and you don't want it, same like Rotting Claws. And then you can put in your 2 jewel sockets, so obviously huge damage. Absolutely bonkers what this does for your build, what a cluster can do. Still very strong, just like before. And so yeah, left all this in. Now some honorable mentions at the end of the video for anyone who made it to this point. Hey, congratulations. So honorable mention for the video is this Perk Whale's Toe. I wanted to use this. I've been wanting to use this for a long time. It looks kind of good even in this build. So you put the Perk Whale's Toe. What does it do? Nearby allies damage with hits is lucky, but there's downsides. So let me just show you this. You actually have more damage than the +1 level, but obviously we lose 1 skelly, so we lose damage overall. But technically, this is higher damage than a +1 intelligence Ami. And that's just the damage of your allies is lucky, which is like lucky chests in Blight. Pretty broken, guys. It's pretty fucking broken. And then the downside, though, is damage. Lightning damage from enemies hitting you is lucky. Ooh, God, that sounds dangerous. And you don't have any life on this, and no reses, so, you know, a normal Pog Ami, yeah. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed all of these potential upgrades you can make to the build. I also showed that you can get craft trigger on this wand, and then there's potential to do an anoint, which we could anoint like Ravenous Horde, but it's really expensive because it's a golden oil, so I didn't want to include it. But you could anoint Ravenous Horde if you get the the oils, and it's a pretty big upgrade, and it's, in my opinion, it's a free upgrade. And I forgot one thing. There was one extra honorable mention. These are honorable mentions because they're like kind of, we're getting into like endgame build stuff, even though it's our upgrades to our league starter. So final one is, you can upgrade technically to this helmet, which is socketed gems are supported by level 20 minion life. You then don't have to have minion life 20 in the helmet. You gain an extra gem in your helmet that's supported by minion life, and so you can run Animate Guardian, and then the Animate Guardian, you could run your, of course, the most important first thing would probably be the helmet. Nearby enemies take 9% increased physical damage. The Elder helmet, item level 85, with item nearby enemies take 9% increased physical damage. And then next thing, you could, if you can, you could try to get a Kingmaker, and then you could also go for, you could look at my Animate Guardian video for 3.16 that I released. That's a really solid video for knowing how to build your Animate Guardian for this season. But also, so this is a really important helmet. You could get the corruption on the glove for vulnerability depending on how cheap it is. We'll see how Scourge League affects the corruption prices. It might be cheaper to get corrupted items potentially with Scourge corruptions. And then so with vulnerability on your Animate Guardian, it can automate the vulnerability, gaining you another gem socket. And with trigger, you could automate the Flesh Offering and the Desecrate with the trigger, so that's really cool, which makes then the build feel way better. You could get the Kingmaker for the weapon, and the chestplate. Garb of the Ephemeral? Yeah, I doubt it. I doubt League start Garb of the Ephemeral, so pretty much just a body armor that squares up the reses and shit for your Animate Guardian, maybe some life, the boot, maybe some move speed, maybe the Victario's Flight to start out the season, to have some extra move speed on your budget Animate Guardian, but he could even be very impactful in your league start if you don't get him killed. And you have a couple levels, and then technically, final honorable mention, you could try to get a +1 wand or a +2 wand early. It might be a few X, like 5X, 10X, so it's not that cheap, but since I mentioned Awakened Gems and all that, and Cluster Jewel, I guess I should mention that too. And all of these things can upgrade our skeleton build. And just these alone, just the stuff I had here, not even including the Awakened Gems or anything, we doubled our damage of our League Starter. So then the damage is 6.8 million. It's absolutely bonkers. And this is just the stuff that I included here, which is like the enchant and stuff and the extra levels, the 3 extra levels or whatever. Not that insane, but has so much potential. I love this skeleton build. I hope you guys do too. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out. And now I'm going to take this opportunity to thank my Patreon, my YouTube members, and that guy who followed the Twitch channel. Thank you for following. I'm not even streaming. Thank you for the support. And thank you to anyone new who joins the Patreon or the YouTube members today. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Probably the budget build or other new content that they're revealing in the next 3 days.